What's up, guys? So for today's video, I want to give a basic breakdown on how to deal with items when you're playing against characters like Diddy, Rob, Snake, etc. This is going to be pretty basic. I was giving a lesson to someone who had a lot of trouble with this stuff. So yeah, let's get right into it. So first of all, one of the most important things about dealing with characters that have items is being able to pick up their item. Like, you need to be comfortable picking up their item, which for most characters, dash attack is a really easy way to do it. And as long as the opponent's not waiting for you to dash attack, like if they're like far away, say you like hit them with something, right? Like they do like this, and you like somehow forward at them. Gary punished that, right? So that's good to pick up items. Rising aerials tend to be good, depends on the character. Some characters can pick it up very well with rising aerials, some can't. Also, Sarah, now you're playing online. Good luck picking up items. It's a lot harder to do it online than offline. It's like significantly so. Yeah, so that's a big deal. And you generally want to look to pick up items in a few situations. One is when your opponent's in a spot where you can punish them while picking up the item, right? Like, let's say this happens, right? Diddy Kong, I don't know, he does like a down smash. It's going to be too hard to show it here, but like if I space better, I could easily dash attack Diddy Kong and pick up the item. Even now I get this free item pickup because he did something like kind of punish. Or let's say I would have hit the Diddy Kong instead, right? Oh. It's like, I hit the Diddy Kong. I can choose to go off the Diddy Kong or pick up the item. You kind of have to decide which is better in this circumstance. A lot of times going for immediate hits is better. But if you don't have like an immediate hit or like a good edge guard setup, generally picking up an item to be able to use it for your own advantage is pretty useful. And yeah, sometimes you hit an enemy and they might drop an item, so you can use that to your advantage. So when you get the item, there's a lot of things you can do with it. Depending on your character especially. Like if you're Greninja, honestly Greninja with the banana in hand doesn't seem that great. You have shurikens, sure. His movement is nice, so you can just run around and like look for an opening for the opponent to like do something dumb. Like, the opponent whiffed like an attack. Toss a banana at them. They jumped and they're too far away. Toss a banana at their landing. You see him like spot dodge. Or you see him shielding too much and you can like throw the item at them and like pressure their shield. Like situations like that, you can definitely look for with almost any character. But fast characters especially can exploit that. But then if a character, say like, I mean, Diddy's a great example because he has built-in like tools to utilize banana. Like he has a command grab, he has the kick side B, he has another projectile. So if you have like a lot of options, ways to deal with shield or ways to camp people out and move around, that's really good. So depends on your character, but generally just good movement is big. And then we might get to a little bit more advanced stuff when you have an item in hand. One of the most valuable skills you can learn is Z dropping aerials, which is as simple as pressing whatever your grab button is in the air. For me it's L, and then pressing a C stick or the A button if you want to do neutral air while like pressing that grab button. So for me, if I do something like a Z drop neutralize Greninja, I can press my grab button. So for me it's L, and then I press A pretty much immediately after I press grab. And I do this, right? Or if I do a forward air, I do the same thing except like... And I make sure to let go of my stick before I press the grab button, because if I don't, I'll throw the item instead and I can't Z-drop it. Which, you know, obviously throwing is pretty good, but Z-dropping aerials lets you basically keep the item or pressuring them with aerials, and it's huge. This is actually super hard to deal with. You can get some nice combos off of it. It makes your movement look crispy as hell, and that's a lovely bonus. So that's what I use. I would also say I wouldn't recommend throwing items at like people who play characters utilize items too often, because those players are generally going to be really good at catching the items back. And most of those characters have kits built to catch items back, like Diddy Kong or Rob are very good at catching items back with low commando moves and using them. And now finally, if you don't really want to use the item, but like you don't want to give it back to the opponent, one simple trick that's very nice is, let's do this, is kind of just throwing it behind you, right? So in this situation, items behind Greninja, like let's say right here, right? Oh, God, banana's gone, damn it. So like I said, I caught it. Also, if you have an item like that where you can catch it before the opponent can get it, knowing when they're going to throw an item out and like kind of catching it preemptively can be really strong. Definitely a bit of matchup knowledge and like player knowledge there, but really strong is something you should look for. Like here, alright, in this situation, so Diddy without the banana, he's alright. He's not like super amazing. He needs banana hand to be like a ridiculous character for sure. But he's still good. But now with the banana behind Greninja, I'm in a cool spot. I can go and grab the banana if I want. I can also just guard the banana with shurikens. I can also just fight Diddy Kong straight up, because I know he can't even pull up banana. And I know if he wants to go get banana, he has to basically run all the way past me. That's like quite a bit of time. And since it's like near the ledge of the stage, if he does that, he might end up cornering himself, right? So just by putting the item behind me, I remove it from the game for that whatever time period, and limit those options for Diddy Kong, and basically sway his decision making pretty hard. And this is more notable versus items that stay in the field long, like Diddy Banana, Rob Gyro. Things like Snake Grenades or Toon Link Bombs, it's not going to matter as much over Slink's Bomb. It can be pretty useful as well. And then, I don't have Snake or the links on the screen right now, but when you have things like grenades or bombs, a lot of times just throwing that bomb or grenade back at them is fine, because it's going to pop so quickly that they can't really like catch the bomb as you throw it back at them and throw it back at you again. And also, if those items in particular, if you can like blow them up with your attack safely, it's very nice. But yeah. And now finally, last thing to talk about is when the opponent has the item in their hand, right? So they got the item in hand, they have this. It's really important to note that item toss in this game is pretty fast and very safe. There are some little nuances to it. For example, I think most characters have an item toss that's slower behind them than in front of them. I'll actually check real quick. I think it's an ultimate frame data. Yes, so for example, Diddy Kong actually, his item toss is frame 7 in front of him, but throwing it behind him is frame 9. And you can of course throw items at a shield. So that means crossing them up is a little bit better. And really what's important that I'm doing with items is you're trying to beat out the item toss. You know that they can't do like grounded moves at all unless they throw the item first. You know they have to do like Z-drop aerials, which is not easy for everyone to do. And a lot of people kind of get like more predictable with their movement trying to do Z-drop aerials, to be honest, unless they're very clean. And you know they're kind of relying like on that and specials and movement and their shield game. So it's really important to like avoid hitting like an opponent's shield too much unless it's very safe and they have an item in hand. It's very important to try to bait out the item toss. It's really important. A lot of characters don't always like pressure people on the platform too well when they have an item in hand, unless it's like a Z-drop aerial from like above you or something. Actually, I'm gonna take that back. Never mind. That's not true. It's yeah. So generally, just have to move around them, beat it out. There's not too much you can do though about someone with an item in hand. To be honest, that's like one of the hardest things about dealing with items in this game is when someone has it, it's just that strong of an advantage. That's why when you fight characters like Rob or Diddy, you want to make sure you don't let them have the item. Same with like Link. And the last thing I talk about is when someone's ledge trapping with an item, right? So let's say. Let's pretend Greninja's at the ledge. I'm like setting this up right now. But like, you know, Diddy does this. He's here. What do you do in this situation if you're at the ledge as Greninja? The answer is there's not a good option. Like, I can go through all the mix-ups involved, but for the most part, you're in a really bad spot versus these kind of things. And your goal when dealing with these types of characters is to not let this happen. A lot of times we want to get back to the stage quick enough that they can't set this, or a lot of times you might even decide to try and recover above the ledge and land on stage to avoid the ledge trap in the first place. You can try things like doing ledge drop aerials to pick up the items, maybe like a pocket, you can use that, but for the most part, you have to avoid this situation. And yeah guys, hope this is a nice little like breakdown dealing with some of the basics of items play. Like I said, not too in depth, but I hope this was informative nonetheless. And catch y'all later. You know the drill. If you like this content, don't forget to support. You know, like, comment, subscribe. Check out the METAFY lessons, the Patreon, the Twitch, all that stuff.